Hi, my name is John Purcell, and I'm a dialogue editor. When I say I'm a dialogue editor, most people go, huh? What's a dialogue editor? Most people understand that there's different kinds of sound editors in movie post-production. There's people who edit sound effects. What do they do? Well, they edit simple things like, nuclear bombs and buses full of school children falling off of cliffs and motorcycle buys, and also lots of little things you never hear, like a little car horn here, a little car by there. But once you sort of explain to people what they do, they go, I get it, sound effects. There's also people called backgrounds editors. Now, if you don't know what a background is, you don't really know what an editor is. But all movies have backgrounds. The backgrounds are the sounds that fill an entire scene from beginning to end that define things like the space, the size of the room, the season, where are we, the mood of a scene. Somebody has to cut them. Those are background editors. Other people edit Foleys. Foleys are the sounds that are made by, in essence, actors during post-productions that mimic body sounds. Could be feet, clothing sounds, could be little things like my watch here, the clicking of my watch, could be all sorts of things. These are sounds that add texture and focus and reality to the dialogue in a scene. Other people edit music. Typically, a film will have a combination of score that's written by a composer, as well as acquired music that comes off of popular music or libraries. Somebody has to cut all this stuff. Those are the music editors. But what in the world is a dialogue editor? Well, it's simple. A dialogue editor is the person responsible for editing all of the sound that comes from the location. So everything that the sound recordist did during the location recording is my problem. It could be sync sound, it could be wild sound, which we'll learn about later. It could be all sorts of things. But if it came from the set, it's usually the dialogue editor's problem. That's what we do. In this series of tutorials, we're going to learn just what a dialogue editor does, and you'll learn a lot about being one. After all these lessons, you probably won't be a dialogue editor, but you'll certainly learn a lot about tricks to make your track smoother, to give it some depth and perspective, and what some of the protocol is in the professional world to create proper dialogue tracks so that when you take your tracks to a mix, you don't come across as an idiot. So over the course of the next several tutorial lessons, we're going to look at just what is it that we do, and then we're going to look step by step through the process, starting at the very beginning, which is getting organized, going through how to make scenes smooth, then how to remove noises, and then we'll talk about the more fun things, how to make perspective, how to create depth, how to make it appear as though your dialogue is popping off the screen. So during these lessons, I hope you'll stick with me because I promise you're going to learn a lot about dialogue editing, and you're probably even going to have some fun. It's one thing for me to say that it's the dialogue editor's job to deal with the production sound, but that's not a lot of information. I think it's worthwhile going through a list of what exactly are the goals of dialogue editing. What are we trying to accomplish? So the first goal, the first thing we have to do is get organized. We, as dialogue editors, get our material from the picture department, from the picture editor. They lock themselves in the room, the picture editor and the director, for weeks or months or, God forbid, years, and they finally come out with this movie. There's a picture and there's a soundtrack. And the soundtrack comes to us in the form of an OMF, which is this Esperanto-type language that enables a picture editing machine to talk to a sound editing machine. When the sound comes to you, it's going to be a big mess. First time you watch the finished edited film, it'll probably be in the film editing room, or you might get it on a DVD. When you first see the film, you think it's okay. You really do. You talk yourself into thinking, hey, it's not so bad. And it's not until you tear it apart that you realize that you've got a real mess on your hands. So a lot of what we do as dialogue editors is tearing the film apart, getting it organized, making it so that you can grasp what you're looking at, making it so that when it's finally mixed, it makes sense for the mixer, and making it so you're creating a friendly work environment for yourself so that when you really are editing, you can chug along and edit quite nicely. I truly believe that if I am nice to my tracks and I get them organized properly and I lay them out in a way that I can see them and understand, this is the geography of the track, then the tracks will begin to actually talk to me and tell me, ooh, cut me like this, ooh, cut me like this. And most people think I'm completely mad that this is the way I work, but hey, it works for me and I still make a living, I still have a job, so I'm doing something right.
In this presentation, you've learned how dialogue editors contribute to a film's success. You've also seen what other sound editors do. In the next lesson, you'll learn why good dialogue editing is so important, and hear how noises can cause trouble. Plus, we'll touch on focus, perspective, and depth in dialogue tracks. Thank you for watching Dialogue Editing for Motion Pictures, a guide to the invisible art. This series is produced by the Sela Yaniv Sound School. Dialogue Editing for Motion Pictures, a guide to the invisible art, is available from Amazon and other online booksellers.